Well, he is the one president who made human rights an instrument of his foreign policy. No other president, as far as I know, before or after, did that. So that distinguishes him completely from the rest. Yes, he was a cold warrior like all the others, but he made human rights the cornerstone of his foreign policy, and he stands out because of that.
And how would you describe his relationship with the continent of Africa and its people?
It was symbolic. He was the most pro-African president since John Kennedy. Kennedy stood out because of his anti-colonial stand, and Jimmy Carter came close to it, symbolically partly because of appointing Andrew Young, the ambassador to the United Nations, and Andrew Young made no secret about his attachment to Africa. There were a few incidents here and there, like when Jomo Kenyatta died, he sent a very powerful delegation to the funeral. He made a point of inviting Daniel Moi in 1980 to the White House to have a good dinner and then discuss how they are going to deal with issues that come up. He was close to Mobutu and things of the sort. But all the time, he was pushing the American agenda the best way he knew how, as opposed to the confrontational way, but an approach that would be acceptable. He is better known in Africa after the presidency than during the presidency, because he was unrestrained after the presidency in getting immersed in visits to Africa, many of them, trying to eradicate diseases, monitoring elections. He became a permanent feature. Whenever there's something arose, he was there. So he's better known after the presidency than the presidency. But even when he was president, he made some mark.
Professor, you are a historian, and according to American historians, President Carter was a break from the political order then, especially during the Watergate scandal. How was he able to escape from being tainted by the politics of the day and the stench that was seen around that time?
Well, he was a breath of fresh air, the peanut farmer, and thrived in talking about peanuts. Compared to what had gone before, Richard Nixon, and then Gerald Ford being tarnished, and before Richard Nixon there was Lyndon Johnson, and they were all contaminated by either the Vietnam War or the Watergate scandal. So when he wrote his little book, Why Not the Best, implying he was going to be the best. So he was a breath of fresh air. He could not be compared to the others. And that's the reason he won, that he was not contaminated by Watergate or Vietnam. So he supposedly was the best for the moment when he got elected in 1976.
Professor, very quickly, what can world leaders and those aspiring to lead their nations learn from Carter?
One, they need to be focused. They need to be clear what it is that they are trying to do, to be aware of the environment, and apart from being aware of the environment, to be consistent and not to mislead the public, to be truthful to their people, to the world as far as they could tell. But being truthful to the world does not mean that you jeopardize your national interest. Carter was always very clear about an American national interest, even when he tried to project a more acceptable image than what the other presidents had done before him. So future presidents or current ones may want to learn humility, focus, and commitment to the national interests of their particular countries.